diamonds. I want a girl who can sort a chest. I want a girl with shears that cut and swords that burn. Who's the guy who conquers death? The mister with the whispers when Mumbo forgets. After introducing Pearl and Gem to say we're settling a continent. Shoulder to shoulder, surrounded by water, beyond which reset, risk your face if you wanna. We live close, we build close, we speak in proximity. Season 8's here today, still in its infancy. Mumbo is saying go, everyone's cheering. Suddenly scattering, always unfearing. Though it passed by without Mumbo mentioning, there's a crew, you know who to keep you adventuring. Asuma securing villagers, Pearl on fine architecture, Joe grabbing supplies, ready to throw at the first fools who die. Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. The very first to die, B-double-O don't cry. Pops and quite chagrin, takes some apples and he flies. Zombie Cleo's next, needs an axe for the road. Geared up and cheered up, she's off with some blows. Gemini Tay appears slain by Jevin, but B-dubs is back before Joe loads the first chest in. Then Pearl's killed by Cleo, who Joe had armed previously. Then Cleo's dead too, per Isco mischievously. Impulse SV got blown up by a creeper. Says he won't be back, but how can he be sure? Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. The resupply crew. Asuma laddering a mine shaft. The resupply crew. Pearl egging a shell. The resupply crew. Joe lavaing a portal. Yo, you're immortal, here's a doorway to hell.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy?
Who's the guy who struck his first diamond? Encircled suddenly by 3 of his friends. Tango, Corrales, and B-double-O, all armed and armored to shake down Joe. Threats bacon triplicate fully surrounded. Joe took to the sky with Cobble unbounded. Lava to dump on the brigands below, or on himself. This direction, let's go! Heading down to somewhere with coordinates in hand. Bridging and a tunneling connecting flower forest land. Cleo is away, so Joe leaves her a saddle. He hopes as he does she won't use it for battle. Returning to World Spawn and lighting his tunnel, he keeps striking lava and dies a whole bundle. And droughts hunting squids, though he tried his best. But no worries, back at World Spawn there's a resupply chest. Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. One chest becomes 4, labeled in stock. The shell thickens yet with smooth sandstone block. Bushes are placed, ravines are filled in. Also the hermits can keep adventuring. If dying is losing, then living is winning. Episode's done, but the show's just beginning. Pick up some tools, some potatoes and steak, and show 'em you're real, give 'em season 8. The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Down and dream. Lay your head down and lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and just let your mind flow downstream. Sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. Joe Hills is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and tonight, y'all are my live streaming audience. Welcome, everyone joining us from around the world on multiple streaming services. Welcome on Twitch to Borealis Laura, Devin Crotties, Grace Render, R110513, Noah Owen, Amy Yam, Luneth, Cupcake Queen, Blaze the Warm Banana Bread, hugs and hugs and hugs and underscore 10. Welcome, Yazzie Wolf. Glad you could join us over there in the YouTube Lucas Chong, Grant Rogers, Super Tabines, Shira Cohen, Dahlia, Gusty Gale. Uh-oh. I hear a monster. I think the real monsters are underneath there. So we're going to not allow them to ruin our parade. This is like a fine Mardi Gras day. We are just going to come in here and, you know what? We're going to just hide them from the sun. That seems like a good plan to me, if I ever had one. Okay, so we are just working on a little bit of a kind of farm field that would be visible from our, what do you call it? From our castle walls up there. I've been trying to find ways to kind of give a little bit more accent and detail around here, and we also need a ton of wheat for some anti-falling stuff we're working on. Ancient Falcon says, I think this might be the first stream of yours I'm watching. Well, welcome, Ancient Falcon. If you have never seen a Joe Hill stream before, I should warn you, they get weird. The YouTube stuff, I kind of figured out what I was doing, and I kind of just do it. The streams are a little bit more free-form, a little bit more improvisational. I actually record all my YouTube videos, most of the segments of them anyway, during streams. So if you ever seen a YouTube video where I yell time skip, all the stuff between when I yell time skip and when I resume the footage is me talking to the chat in the stream. We're hanging out, we're palling around, we're talking about our day. So let's see, I could talk about a few things I did today, other people might be chatting about theirs. You know, we just all kind of catch up, hang out, pal around, you know. It's not Cheers in that not everybody knows your name, but everybody knows my name. So, you know, sometimes you've got a Joe where everybody knows his name, and he plays a voxel game. We want to say, hey, Joe, let's play. And we'll chat and the chat will be real tame. We'll follow the rules while you just play your game. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah. It's a whole experience, says Marco Sierra. Welcome, Razor Random. Glad you could join us. Also, over there in the Discord, welcome to Symmetra, Malora, Drew Baca, Dahlia, Toxic, NJ. We are doing well today. NJ, thank you again for allowing me to join you for your Sagrada stream earlier. That was always a blast. Oh, some folks are asking about the face camera while I'm talking about information for new viewers. Yeah, the face camera resets down here every day at 6 a.m. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania time, and then gets bigger when people tip. We haven't gotten any tips yet today. So, as tips roll in, and we hit $20 expansion milestones, the camera will expand. But, you know what? You don't have to worry about that just at the moment. That'll happen naturally over time. So, we also, as you can see, we still have the setting up stream sign, because we're still kind of greeting people, we're letting people know. Like, basically, until the stream really is underway, and I'm, like, ready to start recording, a lot of times I'll just kind of let that be, so people know if they come in late, like, oh, did I miss anything? People ask me all the time, did I miss anything? If you see that setting up stream now sign, you know, and you're a regular, you haven't missed anything. It's just me saying hello to people, just me getting set up. Welcome, Lightning Aussie. Good tip about the scissors. Yeah, people really should not run with those. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So we get to about here, and we're going to drop in another one of those sea lanterns here. Do-do-do-do. Banana. Hope your plans go well later on. So we're just kind of adding a little bit of a wheat field here. It's not perfect. This is not an optimal farm for harvesting crops. This is just something to look cool from the castle walls because we don't have any details in this direction otherwise, right? So we're just kind of mixing it up, adding a little bit of wheat. And we will harvest some parts of this a few times just because we also need some hay bales for a separate thing. But, like, that's not... This isn't us saying, oh, we need hay bales, let's build an optimal farm. It's, oh, hey, let's use the fact that we need some hay bales to build, like, a little crop-filled area within view distance of the castle. In a part where we don't have any other details, really. I think Bugs Bunny is great in all of his incarnations, player half. Okay. Hey, if you have a name that's designed to trick streamers into swearing, you're probably gonna get banned. But that wasn't even a good try. Okay, let's see here. It's an aesthetic farm. Yeah, we haven't built, like, farm buildings or anything, but the idea is we could. Oh, yeah, we also are going to need some ender pearls real quick, because I don't know if you noticed, but the sun's getting real low, and Grian is AFK. That's going to probably take us way further than the castle. That's okay. Uh-oh. Creepers are starting to load in. Where did I throw that pearl? Am I just going to be out to sea here? I might have overshot by way too much. Yep, okay. So with the trident pearl throw, sometimes I get my range a little bit off. Ugh. That guy always freaks me out. I always think that's a village or pillager or something. Okay. Oh, I have wings. They're in a chest. Okay. Trident Pearl sounds like a nice band name. Yeah, it does. Hey, we got our first tip of the evening, just as I went to shake up my smoothie here. Thank you very much to Patrick for the 20, who says, let's share the experience. Grow, Joe, grow. So, boom. $20 on the abacus. If you direct your attention down here to slot 7, it's time for me to say, howdy, y'all. Grow Hills here, expanding as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. Dee-da-dee-da-dee. Dee-da-dee-da-dee. We just pop over this way. Flip that green screen into our offhand to better chroma key our tank top. And there we go. Yeah, the metals on the wall look great. I think when I get the iridescent one, I'm going to make a big show of hanging the metals actually, like, on the stage here or over the stage here. I'm trying to figure out how that'll work. What kind of smoothie is it? It has juices from 2.5 apples, 4 blackberries, 1/3 of a banana, 2 raspberries, and 2 strawberries. I like that they actually put that on the label. Got some ice here, too, because I'm well prepared for this stream. I knew... I was like, I'm going to have my coffee done in, like, 5 minutes into the stream. So I don't want to do a big run to the kitchen right after that. I should just have the, have a little, fruit smoothie ready, too. Okay. So, let's see here. We do have work to do up here. I wanted to maybe... Let's finish planting, though. We are low on ender pearls, however. Let's run this way and grab some ender pearls from our house. Welcome, Mahi Zero. Welcome, Sawyer Kettler. We have so many ender pearls. We are in no peril of running out. Also, from up here, you can also see our new flower farm. So, I've made arrangements tomorrow to record on stream with Hypno and XB Crafted tomorrow afternoon. So, I'm going to get my IOUs from them, and then I'm going to I'm going to use one of the IOUs to try to get one of the other hermits to turn this allium farm here into a good thing. Because right now, it produces a lot of allium, but it's not really pretty. And I kind of gave up on making it pretty when I realized I could just have somebody else do it. So, yeah, the castle is coming along well. The flower farm is not as impressive. The wheat farm, though, I do like how it looks in the distance there. Okay. Welcome, Tango Tango Victor Pedro. Glad you could join us. Okay, we got some steak. We're not going to run out of steak imminently. Okay. So, just in case there's creepers down in these woods here. Up and over we go over. Well, nope, back into the woods with the creepers. Good planning on my part there. And that'll put us on this side. So as you can see, this is coming in pretty nicely here. There are still some places where mobs spawn nearby and cause us some annoyances. But, you know, it's nothing we can't deal with in the long term. And it's not like we're going to be hanging out here much when this is done, you know? Okay. Did I hear the Elytras being nerfed? No, I did not. But I don't keep up with Elytra-based news because it doesn't really... doesn't really affect me directly. We actually do need to put the seeds in our offhand for this part. Or we can't plant. Oh, I've got wings. They're just in my chest. Instead of my chest slot. It's a little different. But yeah, this area further back here, we've got pretty well grown at this point. While I was working on the front part, this stuff was all growing pretty well, smoothly. So we can just come through here, harvest most of this actually, and then replant it. Then that'll give us plenty of hay bales for that part of the project I was talking about. Shouldn't be too bad. Are we... Hopefully the encoder isn't getting hung up on the planting again. Oh, dang it. The one thing I should probably do too is probably put some of this back here. But I also intended at some point to make a, what do you call it? Box here. A workbench box. So that I could easily make the hay bales for storage purposes. Boom. Okay, so we got 14 hay bales just there. Oops. I feel like it just adds a lot to the texture of the backdrop to have some yellow and stuff in there and not have it just all be green, you know? Because it should feel like an agricultural area. Maybe we have like some carrot fields or some potato fields as well. Just kind of out in the distance, right? I do like the yellow of the wheat a lot, though, because there's no real yellow grass in the game otherwise, whereas the carrot and the potato tops look kind of more like natural grass. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. I am not super keen on upgrading my graphics card right now, but it is one of those things where, like, as we run into more and more, like, encoder edge cases and things like that, it's like, the day is near. I last upgraded my graphics card, like, 5 or 6 years ago, and I got a really good one at the time, and that's what made it last 5 or 6 years. But at a certain point, I need to admit, like, it might be time. I was kind of hoping that ATI would pull off something and just upset NVIDIA. And so then I wouldn't be stuck waiting on NVIDIA to get their stuff together, because I haven't been very impressed. Like, the tech seems fine, but just their supply chain handling has been frustrating me. So, like, when a company's really annoying me, I'm like, maybe their competition will do better. And it looks like maybe I'm just waiting in vain. But I've been really happy with my ATI CPU. So. But yeah, just when it comes to, like, the stream encoders and stuff, NVIDIA seems to have an edge. This is not sponsored. They're not paying me. I'm saying that I regret considering giving them money. So. Tech Francisco says, Joe, do you have a PayPal donation link? Yeah, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Does my PC have the ability to run 2 of the same graphics card? I don't think that that's going to help in my particular use case. SLI and streaming don't always play nice together. With streaming in general, it's easiest to get the simplest... You want the most powerful, simplest setup. Because any bit of complexity, like the streaming tech stack is very brittle in the first place. So adding things like SLI and whatnot just give more opportunities for weird OBS bugs and things like that. It's just... it's usually not worth it. Rather than getting 2 70 series cards, it's better to get 180 series card, if that makes any sense. Now, I know if you're not streaming and you just start trying to get, like, the best performance, then it's probably fine. But, like, yeah, you got to make certain... That's one of the reasons I don't encourage people, like, when they're building a gaming rig, to do whatever I'm doing. Because it's like, I'm not building a gaming rig, technically. I'm building a streaming rig. And so, like, my trade-offs and my choices might be entirely different from what you would want. Like, for example, some people really want to be able to play games at 144 frames a second for, like, their high-end monitors. But I never need to go above 60 because 60 is what I'm recording at. And so, honestly, I don't want to waste any power on those frames. I'd rather keep the card slightly cooler so that it's ready to boost if it needs to. So, like... But that's not what a lot of people want. They want to run their game at whatever their monitor supports, and if their monitor goes up to 140 frames a second, they want it, you know? And that's good for them. I get it. But it's not what I'm going to need or how I'm going to build my machine, you know? Hey, welcome, Millimeter Retro. Yeah, Mike Platcher. The problem is I just got a new processor and motherboard last year. I was like, in order to save money, I'll upgrade the processor 1 year and then the graphics card the next year. And so building a new PC, or buying a new PC, feels really super wasteful at that point. Oh, wait. Oh, dang it. I forgot. I keep forgetting to... Yeah, okay, well, we'll fix that real quick. Did I overshoot it again? Dang it. I'm back in the ocean. Womp womp. Nope, not quite. Okay, great. Hey, Try to Tilt Pinball, welcome to the stream. Who says, Joe, thank you and your friends so much for dropping in on me last night. Time of my life. Hey, yeah, always glad to raid folks who are doing cool stuff on stream. Even though you are obviously just getting started on Twitch, your setup really indicates or conveys how serious you are. And I wish you the best of luck with your pinball streams. Okay. But yeah, you know, that's the thing though, too, is like, honestly, like, some of the friends I have in streaming, they have thousands of viewers, and, you know, I'll raid them sometimes, but, like, you know, I don't need to raid my friend who's got 2,000 viewers every night, you know? If there's somebody who's got 10 viewers, you know, they're going to get more of a impact from that. And I like to show people that, like, you know, Twitch isn't all about people who do this for a living. It's people who do this for fun. I started off streaming for fun. I never thought streaming would make me a cent. It was just a way for me to hang out with people while I drew back in 2008, you know? And so I like to show... Because, like, I see kids who get obsessed with, like, they're like, I want to be a streamer one day, I want to make money. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. You can try, but, like, maybe you should be a streamer because it's a cool way to hang out with people. Like, here's cool people hanging out with cool people. Check that out. Nadia says, would send by PayPal, don't want my IRL name on stream. Thank you for the 2, Nadia. That puts us 18 away from the next expansion. Just so you know, though, Nadia, people all the time, they send me tips, and the tip message starts with... like, say that my name is Tango, you know, or don't read my name, call me Carl, right? You know, like, and so I am happy to accept PayPal tips. If there's no message, I will read the first name on it, but, either way, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat, but yeah, if you don't want your name read, I will not read it, but you gotta tell me in that particular message. Also, don't assume that if you send me a tip once with that message that I'll remember, because actually one of the ways that I avoid mistakenly calling people by the wrong name is I just don't remember the wrong name, but then that means that I won't have it correlated in my head in the future, like, you know. So, yeah. You do have to do that every time. But I do want to be respectful to people who don't want their names out there and whatnot. Sigrid says, just noticed the floating shoulders. Yeah, I've got a chroma key tank top. I've also got chroma key glasses. It's a little bit hard to see, but next time that we do an expansion, we are 18 away from that next tipping milestone. You'll get a chance to see the glasses as they expand. How long have I been on HermitCraft? The castle looks great. Well, I've been streaming for about 27 minutes tonight, but I actually joined HermitCraft 5 weeks into Season 1. I was the first person invited to join the server that was not a founding member, making me the original new guy. And that's been a lot of fun. It was super skeptical when I was invited to join, because when I was invited to join HermitCraft, literally no one had ever been invited to join HermitCraft before, right? It was just the founders. And so I didn't know what it was. It was 5 weeks in. It wasn't a big deal. And I had been in the webcomics community where there were all sorts of groups that were like, yeah, we'll host your webcomic, but you got to sign over your intellectual property and stuff. And it's just like, I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know who these people are. Do I have to sign anything? I'm not giving you my IP. And they're like, no, you don't have to sign away your IP. You don't have to. I'm like, this isn't one of those, there were also those YouTube, I forget what they're called, but YouTube had these vendors that were like, oh, we'll get you better ad revenue. I'm like, this isn't one of those ad revenue scams, is it? Like, basically, most of the interview that I had about joining HermitCraft was not me trying to convince them to let me on HermitCraft, because I had never heard of it. They requested the meeting with me. It was me trying to make sure that it wasn't a scam somehow. Which might sound very silly today, but, like, you know, and so when people ask, like, how do you join something like HermitCraft? Well, if you're good at what you do, which I was back then, and I think I still am, then you get invited to do things. Make sure you vet them, make sure it's not a scam, but give them a try, you know? So, am I still setting up stream? You know what? Let's run through our checklist and figure out, are we still setting up our stream? When will my stream begin?
$8:30 p.m. the usual streaming setup. Turn on the lights, make sure they're bright and gleam. Title, tweet, pour water, tank top, and chroma. OBS seems all set, so I click start the stream, and so I'll pause, fold in, and open VLC. I'll pick 2 songs before, lay your head down and dream. I'll say that's us to y'all, Joe Hills from Tennessee. Folks asking when will my stream begin? After howdy, it's items and chest tools breaking. Pickaxe went poof while talking to you professional Minecrafter here, there's no mistaking. So I'll click crafting quick anvil time enchant pick, then I'll replace the books in a random chest with care. I'll tour my winery, I'm sure there's blocks somewhere, and then I'll hush and hush and hush and hush chat swear. Not any closer to recording. Folks keep asking and asking and asking and asking, when will my stream begin? Seriously, y'all, I need to record this next episode I've been working toward. I can't edit without footage, no. Once I'm all geared up, maybe we can start the show.
Alrighty, there we go. We can take down that setting up stream now sign, because I'm pretty sure I did everything on that list. Pause, fold in, open VLC. Yeah, it's all good. Oh, man. I'm realizing why I don't normally have these fruit smoothies during the stream. It's because I kind of get in my mustache a little bit, and then I'm like, trying to get it all out. Bleh. Like, but I did a lot of hiking today. Took my daughter out. There's this beautiful lake in Nashville. Well, it's kind of just, it's outside the main part of the city. It's called Radnor Lake, though. So we took a nice hike around there, and then after that, we did some more walking around town, stopped at a coffee shop, and I did some editing on the next video while she read. Spent a lot of time just getting out of the apartment today, and that was really nice, but, like, I'm just, like, you know, I was like, oh, I'm so thirsty because my body, all my muscles are sore. I did a lot of, we spent a lot of time outside yesterday too. So I got a lot of physical activity 2 days in a row, which is good. I need to do that because, you know, I need to be taking care of my health. Now that I'm not, you know, walking, commuting anymore, even though I've cut down on, like, how much unhealthy stuff I'm eating and stuff, it's not just about what you eat, you know, it's about making sure you're active, too. So, you know. Let's see. I mean, this is coming together. As you can see, like, it's not optimal to actually harvest. And it's not optimal for growing because not all the pieces are saturated. But in terms of how it looks like from the castle and stuff, it's not bad. And it does have a lot of, crops that are loaded while the castle is being built. So we can take a bunch of these. Once we get a few stacks of the wheat, we can take that with us. Okay. Yeah, I used to work on a comic called Jack of All Blades. The server's down right now. One of the problems with working with servers for a living is when my own stuff goes down, it's like the bottom of my queue. Because I'm like, if I'm going to do server work, I'm usually going to end up doing client server work first. And then I'm like, well, now that I've done a bunch of server work for clients who paid me, do I really want to go back and fix my thing? No. But it's not like a comic from 2005 gets a ton of traffic regardless. So, but yeah, I worked on a few comics, Jack of All Blades, Jack of All Blades 2, Industrial Revolutionary, I had one called, Panhandle Press. What else? Okay. So, yeah, so way before I was doing YouTube, I was doing online comedy through comics. And I thought, like, oh, this YouTube thing is just a fun distraction, but, like, one day I'm going to make it as a cartoonist. And I never made it as a cartoonist. And, in fact, I've barely drawn for 7 years. Like, I feel like a lot of things, like, when my kid was born, I kind of had to choose, like, one hobby to pursue. And video game streaming was the easiest. Like, especially because I used to, when my kid was first born, I was doing a lot of graphic design at my day job because they couldn't afford more than one computer person, and they didn't understand the difference between development and design. And I was like, look, you know, you really should have a graphic designer do this stuff. And they're like, but you're the computer guy. Can't you just go train on this? And I'm like, well, I mean, I can. And they're like, well, but we could also just have the secretary design it in Word. And I'm like, no, you can't. Okay, fine. I took a bunch of courses through AIGA. Well, not courses, but, like, went to seminars and read a bunch of books and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm already, like, trying to be a cartoonist, so learning graphic design shouldn't be that hard. And, I mean, it was hard, but it wasn't, like, completely outside of my capacity, you know? Because it's like, if you already understand color, shape, line, composition from illustrating and laying out comics panels and stuff, you know, you can kind of make the jump to graphic design. But, you know. Gritmonger says it was the opposite with me. I was a designer pulled into development. Yeah, there's a lot of that in towns like Nashville, where, like, companies are too small to have dedicated design and dev teams. They just have, like, one guy who's the computer guy, or woman in a lot of cases. Could this be never-ending gardening? By the time you plant one plant, the ones you planted, or by the time you harvest, the plants you planted earlier have grown? I mean, basically. But that's not the goal. The goal is to do enough of these that we can actually finish the floor in here. Let's see. Hey, welcome, Sammy. Welcome, Melons Away. Glad you could join us. Welcome, Queen Dark Lady. Don't yell in all caps. That's a timeout. If you yell in all caps that you're new, I'm going to time you out so you have time to read the rules, which tell you not to yell in all caps. So, we have started work on an internal floor in here. So, as we work on the roof, we can fall down, and that's okay. Silent Whisperer raiding with a party of 155. Welcome, Silent Whisperer. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and also today streaming. We are currently inside of the courtyard of Castle Hohenzollern. I've got a model of that down here if you look in the lower left. I've been working on this in HermitCraft with my friend Zombie Cleo for about 5 weeks. And you'll see that there's a little courtyard right in there. That's where we are in game. So welcome, Raiders. This castle is gigantic. Let me Ender Pearl away for a second so you all can get a sense of the scale here. The nice thing about putting food in your hot bar and having Ender Pearls in your offhand is you can have a quick snack and then run. But yeah, so you can see that that's a pretty big castle, right? So we are working on putting in some hay bale floors so that while I work on the roof, I don't keep falling all the way through to the ground below. Because I keep falling all the way through to the ground below, and it's getting super obnoxious. We're also building, like, a whole village around the castle here. We've got, like, a church over there. We have a tavern and inn right here, based on the Drawn-in Courtier from the Acquisitions Incorporated C team. We've got my house up there, a smithy right there. You can see the fires in the smithy. We've got a beaver maw where we're building our deep slate farm. Actually, why don't we go check on the beaver maw? If you're new to this stream, somebody says, are there cricket noises in your apartment? There's cricket noises outside my apartment. Oh, yeah, good. We haven't harvested the deep slate in the beaver maw recently. So, check this out. So like a shark, beavers have just these rows and rows of teeth inside of their mouths. And as you break one, they come forward. We can't actually make them come forward in Minecraft, but I really wanted to kind of capture how terrifying this was with this build. Like, you know, why just build a dripstone farm when you can have a terrifying beaver maw, right? So, we should actually probably harvest this. Do I have room in my inventory? Yeah. We have plenty of room. We have room for days. Not like a lot of days, but a few days. But, you know. So we are building basically a village of small buildings around the castle where we are generating the infrastructure for the castle materials. So like, hey, we need a bunch of dripstone blocks for the base of the castle. Well, how are we going to get those? We'll build a building that's a dripstone farm. We're not just going to put a random industrial dripstone farm right here. We'll have this building set up in such a way that we can have it, like, exist past the castle being done. And then when you look out from the castle, there's a bunch of buildings all around. So, like, the smithy is where we have all the auto smelters for making the smooth sandstone or other stuff like that. The tavern is where we've got our brewing set up, kind of theming things a little bit as we go. And so that way, the village grows, the castle grows, and the whole area is basically a sprawling mega base. And it kind of happens organically. You know, so I realized, hey, we need a lot of this one kind of dye. So we built a house that's got a flower farm inside of it. It's right now very ugly. So I'm going to have one of the other hermits that I won an IOU from in a IOU auction come in and reskin it, basically. Build a new facade, really kind of zazz it up a little bit. If you're not Italian, that's short for pizzazz, or pizzazz. But here in America, we often just say zazz. Minecraft days or IRL days? I don't know what days you're talking about. I've spent Minecraft days and IRL days on this project. This is a huge project. Even just building this this dripstone farm took a lot of time because when we first started it, we had like very few dripstone stalactites, so it started off being like 3 wide, and then we made the pool larger and larger as we gathered more dripstone and kind of exponentially grew it until it was a size that was sustainable. And this is about the right size for it, is what we kind of found. And, oh, we need to make some blocks here. Boom. Boom. And, okay, I think I've grabbed... Don't want to let any of that despawn because it's so precious. So I can just go ahead and toss these in here, so if myself or Cleo need dripstone later for the castle walls, we can grab it. And then up here we have a nice little pool with a baby axolotl in it. Hello, baby axolotl. And because I live in Nashville, which is the healthcare capital of Tennessee, you can hear helicopters outside. If you follow the Nashville Scanner Twitter account, you can probably... They usually report on helicopter delivering person from Murfreesboro who had heart palpitations or whatever. So... yeah, if your name is super long and you yell in all caps, that's a bad mix. In general, if you're just kind of breaking a rule, I'll usually time you out. But if you've got a ludicrously long name and you break a rule, you're already kind of spamming the chat just with your name. So, anyway. So, yeah, we've got that little beaver dripstone farm there. There's our ugly flower thing on the hill. We're going to have somebody turn that into a real house. There's my house. Cleo's house is back there past our little flower market, which you can see. Oh, you know what? I actually haven't checked if we got any sales in the flower market today. Maybe I should do that. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Welcome to Dog. Glad you could join us. Hope your dinner preparations go well. Okay. Seems like not too many sales today. That's okay. It was a Sunday. A lot of hermits taking a family day. Oh, I do need to double check the cactus farm. In case there's any... Can't have that overflowing. The dripstone farm, the cactus farm. I got a few things on stream that I try to check every day or two. On my videos, I usually don't show, like, here's me in the dripstone farm again. Here's me checking the cactus. Because, like, people don't need to see it. Okay, this one's been emptied relatively recently, but since we're over here anyway. Oh, this is our seed dripstone farm. I just have these, like, stalactites on the way on the way down the stairs here that I worked on. Super early game, because I was like, we're going to need some of these later. And we did. So that was the right call, clearly. Over here, we have our mine access via train tracks. Welcome, Crazy Chicken Productions. Okay. Colorful Cute says, am stress cleaning, but Joe calms me down. Glad to help. And I'm glad that you're able to direct your stress into something productive. Aaron Cram says, I miss crickets and cicadas. You say cicada, I say cicada. You say tomato, I say patata. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So, what have we accomplished? I forgot to put the cactus in the farm. Or in the shop. Okay, so minor fail there. I don't have like a failure counter, but I do have a friend named Good Times with Scar who we say hello to every time he joins the server. Howdy, Scar. Scar is, you know, most hermits, if they disconnect and reconnect, they don't expect a greeting. But Scar, it doesn't matter how many times he has disconnected and reconnected in one session. He wants that greeting every time. He needs the attention, and you know what? He deserves it. So, what's the goal for this season? The goal for this season is to work on the castle village here. The castle is back there, way off in the distance. The village is kind of all around us, developing. Okay. And I have already finished my fruit smoothie, and we're only 45 minutes into the stream. Okay. So, here we go. What were we going to do next? Oh, yeah. We were going to use some of the hay bales to clean up the floor here. Now, I need to look at... Okay, so there's a door that's going to go into that building directly between the two turrets. So we need to get up there. Okay. Priza says your bed looks like a couch. Cute. Yeah, that's like where I sit when I'm waiting on customers. So sometimes hermits will be like, "Hey, do you have this at the flower flower shop?" And I'll say yes, and then I'll go sit on the couch and wait for them in case they have any other questions when they get there. Because usually nobody asks if I have something if they aren't about to come visit. Am I part of TB? I don't know what that means. I'm a part of HermitCraft, along with Scar and Grian. Is TB short for HermitCraft? In which case, yes. So let's go ahead and start putting in this floor here. I'm realizing I don't have torches. I mean, I do have some torches, but not like necessarily sufficient torches for this project. Okay, so here's where things get a little bit shaky. We need to build out this way. Welcome, Tro9 Sis Siren. Okay. Trent Boland is apparently TV. Gotcha. Good for you, Trent Boland. So, I'm imagining if we just add a little bit of this around the edges, we're less likely to fall. Do I play any instruments? The bass, but not well. At this point, I'm more of a bass owner than a bass player. When my daughter started getting mobile and crawling around, we didn't have a good place to keep it in our tiny apartment, and so it went to my parents' house, and it sat in a closet for years. And now that she's old enough that I can have it back from my parents' house, I just haven't had the time to spend on it that I would like to. So I'm hoping to get back into that, but like right now I'm also like, I kind of just, you know, became self-employed about a year ago, and the first like few years of getting a business off the ground is always kind of the shakiest. So I'm kind of just trying to make sure that, you know, I do right by my viewers and get episodes out and stream rather than like being like, okay, I'm gonna, oh yeah, also taking bass lessons right now. Like I want to do them in person, so I'm kind of waiting for my daughter to get vaccinated. So, because I don't really want to have people like in our apartment when she's not vaccinated yet. So that's kind of one of those post-COVID deadlines that I'm looking at, like, which I feel like kind of bad that so much of my life is like, oh, I'll start on that after the pandemic's over. But like when I'm like, well, can I start on it now? Not really, not in the way I want to. So. Hey, welcome, Jory. Okay, so hey, we just got another tip. Thank you very much to James for the 20, who says we need more Joe. If you've never seen a Joe Hill stream before, you may not be aware that every time we hit a tipping milestone, the camera gets bigger. So here we go. Also, if you haven't seen my new glasses yet, pay special attention. Expand Joe. And that puts us now 18 away from the next face camera expansion. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. And so sometimes people, when they see that for the first time, they're like, so the camera gets bigger when you hit a tipping milestone. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, is there an upper limit on that? It seems like the sort of thing that should have an upper limit. And I'm like, I'm a single parent, so I cannot afford to say no to help. No. But the camera will reset every day at 6 a.m. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania time. Because in this house, we follow Groundhog Day rules. I actually got a cross-stitch made that says that because it's very important that everybody knows. Welcome, Reverend Tail. We are working on roofs today. Kind of. We're working on other stuff, too. Mr. Bigzilla says, you make me laugh, which wakes up my wife. I don't want to get you in trouble with your spouse, but, you know, I am not going to stop making people laugh either. Clue Emily says, OMG, I love that cross stitch. Yeah, I had it custom commissioned from my friend Shannon Starr. I strongly recommend, if you know friends who are artists, you know, the pandemic has not been kind to a lot of folks who do freelance art. Hire them. Say, like, hey, you know, what is my budget for Christmas this year? Maybe I'll commission some art for people instead of buying gifts from Walmart, you know? Like, just reach out and ask, you know? Now, that wasn't a gift. That was a tax-deductible art purchase. That was me commissioning a prop for my stream. But, the principle stands. Talk to your friends who make art. See if they need work and give them work, you know? Joe is a groundhog, confirmed. Am I? But then why would I make a building shaped like a beaver? Hmm? Ravyard says, first time I heard you say the Groundhog Day rules thing, I got super giddy because I don't hear it mentioned much and it's a super cool movie. Yeah, it's really popular in the circles I run in, but I guess in some other places maybe it's not so much. So yeah, I'm glad that you found that rewarding. Nolan, Jill, congratulations on getting your second dose of Moderna. That's the one I got. Not that, like, you know, it's a team thing, but yeah, good for you. I've been very happy with my Moderna vaccine. I have not gotten COVID. Granted, I'm pretty careful on the whole, but still, you know, my daughter's back in school, and so, you know, the opportunity does exist. Okay. Erin Cram says, Joe, you exude so much chaotic energy. I'm surprised you have any qualms about getting people in trouble with spouses or otherwise. I mean, I have very little qualms about most getting in trouble, but as somebody who had to deal with their spouse leaving them and their child, I think that I know the cost of a spouse leaving, and I want to be sensitive to that. What movie is that from? Groundhog Day. Lizzie Max says, I remember seeing my first webcam reset. My mind exploded. Yeah, we don't often see live webcam resets, usually only on HermitCraft stream days that I'm streaming at 6 a.m. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania time. But we have a custom song that I commissioned for it and everything. But it's one of the rarest face camera maneuvers to witness. Default says, curious about the cost-benefit analysis of spending time farming hay bales to save time falling off the roof. Well, part of it is that because that cost-benefit analysis doesn't really add up, it will annoy Cleo when I justify it to her and the math doesn't add up. I am aware the math doesn't add up, but the entertainment value of trying to justify it to somebody else is worthwhile. Oh, speaking of Mystery Pinball Theater 3000, thank you for reminding me. Manu actually sent me a mask the other day, which I can't put over my ears because I have my headphones on and it won't clip to my headphones. But yeah, I actually got my Mystery Pinball Theater 3000 mask, which I'm super hype about. But yeah, he sent me and the other people who are like friends of the show, like people who like join him on mic, merch the other day. So yeah, yay, Mystery Pinball Theater 3000. But I don't know if you can see it, but whatever. Anyway, I'll take that off. But yeah, thank you for reminding me, Badger, because I mentioned that the other day, and the camera was too big for people to see the mask. So I asked Badger to remind me when it was a good size. I did see the Ack Inc. pinball machine from PAX. That looks amazing. And if I go to Seattle, like, I'm going to try my best to get permission to visit and play it. Yeah, Joe's cost-benefit analyses are all about how obnoxious the thing he wants to do is, not necessarily about how much it benefits or costs him. MKG says, I was scared of Joe my first time watching. That's good. You want to hold on to that. That's not an irrational response. Okay. So. Which season's better, season 7 or season 8? I can't even remember which season is which half the time. So, like, I keep referring to this as season 9 or season 11. So, I mean, I'm clearly not the person to ask about comparing seasons by number. Yeah, because the problem was I was working on episode 11, and so I would start every recording by saying, HermitCraft, season 11, episode 9. And then I was like, no. Season 9, episode 11. No. Season 8, episode 11. Wait, is that right? And then eventually people would be like, Joe, you should probably start recording or you will never get anything done. So yeah, I'm the worst person to ask about things like that. Also, I'm not good at comparing things or ranking them. Like, I know a lot of streamers love talking about, like, oh, what's your favorite burrito or whatever. I'm like, I don't know. Burritos are good. Like, can't they just be good without being compared against each other? Like, I feel like this is like the cosmetics industry. Like, this is just them being like, you know, it's not okay that you and your friends are hot. You need to compare yourself to your friends so that you spend more money on cosmetics. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, cosmetics industry. My friends and I can all be hot, and that's okay, and we're going to be proud of it, and we're not going to spend money with you, right? Like, I don't need to compare pizza versus burritos, or what's my top 3 Groundhog Day-like films, or whatever. Like, I just can enjoy things as they are, and not have to, because it's not even true curation. I think a lot of the value of curation is to spotlight things that might otherwise be overlooked, right? So if I'm like, oh yeah, my 3 favorite types of Mexican food are, but they're all gonna be things that everyone's heard of or tried. Nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, this is something I've never heard of. But like, you know what? Like, I don't know how I would rank Ethiopian food because I'm bad at ranking things in general, but not everybody's tried Ethiopian food, and it's really neat. So actually, if you haven't had it, I recommend it. It's cool because it's like served with this like giant piece of bread thing. Don't yell in all caps there, Ariel Pigeon. But anyway, I don't know. So yeah, I'm not here to rank things for you. You can, if you want to have fan conversations where you rank things among other fans because that's how you engage with media, that's fine, but that's not how I do it. People are saying it's called injera bread. Okay, that's cool. I live in Nashville, so they just called it bread. They were like, we serve this on bread, and I was like, that sounds cool. High Five and Hippo says this is the strangest virtue signaling I've ever heard. This isn't virtue signaling. This is me justifying why I hate talking about things. This is me warning people not to bother. Okay, yeah, that's like if you have a sign that says no solicitors outside your house. That's not virtue signaling that you're too good to be solicited to. This is me telling people, hey, if you're 13 and all your comments on streams are, hey, what's your favorite of this? Then go away. This is my keep out sign. This is me trying to drive down my numbers so that the chat is full of people talking about things that I care to talk about. This is not virtue signaling. This is, I don't even know what to call it. It's old man with lawn. Yeah, old man yelling at cloud. Old man yells at cloud video streaming service. Okay, so we at this point have way too much wheat seeds. So we need to go to the composter now. Which is... Oh, wait, hold on. Let's switch this here. Old man yells at the cloud. Old man yells at cloud computing. Oh, I have an elytra, I just don't need it. Okay, so we need to go this way. The composter is right there, so we can feed the extra seeds we got right here into there. Colorful Cute says your whole stream is you talking about things that you like, but you're not ranking them. Yeah, that's... I think talking about things that I like that have value is good. But, like, especially because it encourages people to explore things that they might not otherwise. And this is something we kind of talked about with my Patreon movie group. Is, like, people are like, oh, you should do this popular movie for the movie night. And I was like, no, I want to do weird movies that you've never heard of that I really like, but because for one thing, I'm annoyed that I have nobody to talk to about them. And two, because, like, if you wanted to watch Ghostbusters, you can just go watch Ghostbusters with, like, literally anybody. If you go to your dad or your aunt or your uncle, you're like, hey, you want to put Ghostbusters on? They'll be like, yeah, sure. You know, nobody says no, I'm not going to watch Ghostbusters. Like, in that context. Now, in the context of, like, hey, I'm trying to, like, show cool movies that other people don't necessarily get to see, like, then, you know, it's like, well, Ghostbusters doesn't belong in that queue, you know? So, I don't know. But yeah, like, I don't see any reason to talk about things that everybody else already knows about, because like that just, it feels like it's kind of that South Park joke about, like, with the nostalgia where it's like, oh, you don't even have to make anything creative or interesting, you just have to say, hey, you remember this, hey, you remember that. Like, it doesn't really seem valuable to me. Would I describe myself as a movie buff? No, but almost any sentence that you say, like, would you describe yourself as, like, I don't really like describing myself either. So, I mean, well, that's like one of those things, like, people are like, oh, would you describe yourself as a Star Wars fan? And I'm like, well, I only read the first 35 novels, and I haven't seen some of the new movies. So I feel like a real fan would have read all the novels and seen all the movies, maybe. I don't know. I don't consider myself a Star Wars fan. But it's like, Joe, you've read, like, 36 novels, more than most people. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, I don't know. I didn't, like, but they kept making the novels and I stopped reading them. I feel like if I liked them more, I would have read all of them. You know. Would I describe myself as an artist? That is something that I do. So anything that, like, legally I need to defend in court, like, from the point of view of my custody situation and my taxes, I am a self-employed artist. So that is a word that I would describe myself as, especially because, like, you know, if my custody judge is like, you know, you're on, there's like 18 videos of you saying, like, I wouldn't call myself an artist, but you put on this affidavit that you're a self-employed artist. It's like, you don't want to look like you're perjuring yourself. That's one of the exceptions I'll make, is anything that would make my lawyer's job harder, yeah. It's not worth it to make your custody attorney's job harder. Okay. Okay. What movies do I want to watch with my Patreon group? The Haunting of Scary Manor is on my list. It's a really interesting comedy that I only discovered last year through Kelly Turnbull, who is brilliant on Twitter and in animation. But Kelly Turnbull made this list of underappreciated horror movies, and I watched some of them last October, and I was very, very impressed with The Haunting of Scary Manor. And The Haunting of Scary Manor is about this realtor whose mom has cancer, and he can't afford the treatments. And so he buys this house to flip, and he really needs to sell it so that he can get his mom her treatments. But the house is, like, ludicrously, blatantly haunted. And, like, there's just all these, like, these great montages in the movie of, like, him trying to show the house to people. And he's like, as you can see, there's, like, a second bathroom for guests. And, like, just the whole bathroom is just blood pouring out of the walls and stuff. And it's like, oh, and this is a wonderful closet. And then, like, every time he opens the closet, there's, like, a different demon inside. And he's just, like, all he wants to do is just sell this house and help his mom. And the house is just, like, being a real jerk about it. And it's set up like a comedy, though. There are some, like, actually, like, pretty good jump scares and a little bit of scary stuff in it. But it's actually, for the most part, kind of like... they use all the special effects that would be in a regular horror movie. But, yeah, it is the... Yeah, the original title was The Selling, but now it's on, like, Amazon and stuff as The Selling of Scary Manor. Do I have full custody? I am the primary residential parent. But Tennessee doesn't really do full custody as a legally recognized term. But my daughter spends a few holidays with her mom and part of the summer when her mother shows up. Bum, bum, bum. Turlin Blue says, then recommending the recommendation. Zero Omega Prime says, reminds me of High Spirits. Oh, that's about selling a haunted hotel. Yeah, I've seen that. Badger Spanner showed me that when she was here for the St. Patrick's Day stream, like 2 years ago almost now. A year ago. Year and a half. I don't know. I've lost all track of time. Okay. But yeah, so that's like an example of like, hey, there's this weird movie that not a lot of people have seen, but it's really interesting and funny. That's the sort of thing I want to watch with the Patreon people. The next thing that's actually scheduled is the 1970s Warren Beatty, Heaven Can Wait, which is not obscure in the same way, but a lot of younger folks haven't seen it. So that's the thing, too, is I have to kind of balance, like, what have the younger Patreon members not seen. I don't know what Nephrite is. Is that like a modded thing? Because this is a vanilla server. What was the hopper doing with the wheat seeds? It composts them. But yeah, other things that I had in the queue for the movie night. I want to watch Sadako versus Kayako because it's so silly. Psycho Gorman is amazing. 29th Street is my favorite Christmas movie. But it's not available on any streaming service, and the DVD costs like $90 because it's impossible to get anywhere. And so that's one that I have to kind of accept, like, well, we can't watch this because nobody has a copy of it. Yeah, my shirt is chroma keyed. Welcome, Shaco Lamb. Rubber is another one on the list. Jodorowsky's Dune, Lawrence of Arabia. Psycho Gorman, it was the inspiration for doing that credit wrap. I mean, Men in Black, Wild Wild West, they had those a while ago, but here, I'll play this again for those of you who weren't here at the beginning of the stream, and those of you who were, some of you had questions about this. So the idea was that I knew after watching Psycho Gorman, like 2 weeks before the end of Season 7, I was like, my first episode of Season 8 needs to end with a credits wrap. But I don't know what the what the episode's gonna be about yet. I know we're gonna try and build a resupply structure, but I don't know anything about like what it is or how it works. So I went to my brother and I was like, hey, I need you to kind of figure out some sort of beat that we could use for a rap that I'm gonna have to write in like 24 hours and then have you turn around so that we can have, because like we're gonna record the season 7 intro on like a Saturday and then have the episode go up on like a Wednesday, right? So yeah, here, let me play that real quick. Or season 8.
Who's the guy who conquers death? The mister with the whispers when Mumbo forgets. After introducing Pearl and Gem to say we're settling a continent. Shoulder to shoulder, surrounded by water. Beyond which reset, risk your face if you wanna. We live close, we build close, we speak in proximity. Season 8's here today, still in its infancy. Mumbo is saying go, everyone's cheering. Suddenly scattering, always unfearing. Though it passed by without Mumbo mentioning, there's a crew, you know who to keep you adventuring. Asuma securing villagers. Pearl on fine architecture. Joe grabbing supplies, ready to throw at the first fools who die. Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. The very first to die, B-double-O, don't cry. Pops and quite chagrin, takes some apples and he flies. Zombie Cleo's next, needs an axe for the road. Geared up and cheered up, she's off with some lows. Gemini Tay appears slain by Jevin. But B-dubs is back before Joe loads the first chest in. Then Pearl's killed by Cleo, who Joe had armed previously. Then Cleo's dead too, per Isco mischievously. Impulse SV got blown up by a creeper. Says he won't be back, but how can he be sure? Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. The resupply crew. Asuma laddering a mine shaft. The resupply crew. Pearl egging a shell. The resupply crew. Joe lavaing a portal. Yo, you're immortal, here's a doorway to hell.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy?
Who's the guy who struck his first die encircled suddenly by 3 of his friends? Tango, Corrales, and B-double-O, all armed and armored to shake down Joe. Threats bacon triplicate fully surrounded. Joe took to the sky with Cobble unbounded. Lava to dump on the brigands below, or on himself. This direction, let's go! Heading down to somewhere with coordinates in hand. Bridging and a tunneling connecting flower forest land. Cleo is away, so Joe leaves her a saddle. He hopes as he does she won't use it for battle. Returning to world spawn and lighting his tunnel, he keeps striking lava and dies a whole bundle. And droughts hunting squids, though he tried his best. But no worries, back at world spawn there's a resupply chest. Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. The resupply crew will get you going again. One chest becomes 4 labeled in stock. The shell thickens yet with smooth sandstone block. Bushes are placed, ravines are filled in. Also the hermits can keep adventuring. If dying is losing, then living is winning. Episode's done, but the show's just beginning. Pick up some tools, some potatoes and steak, and show 'em you're real, give 'em season 8.
Hey, welcome, Goran. Glad you could join us. We were just playing the end credit rap that I wrote for the first episode of the season. We were talking about movies like Psycho Gorman, Wild Wild West, and Men in Black that had that credit rap at the end of them. And so I wrote this for the end of my first episode of this season, because that's like the first episode of any season is the one that the most people watch on the YouTube playlist. And so I had this idea weeks before, and I was like, I can't waste this on a random episode in the middle of the season. This has to go on the first one. People get to the end, and they're like, oh, that was a pretty okay episode. And then we come in with a full, like, Will Smith-esque rap at the end. You know, I'm like, that's going to get them to come back, you know? And we include some remixes of some of my earlier theme songs as something to, like, reward the viewers who have been here the whole time as well. Also, I need to go ahead and thank the folks supporting the stream. We just got some tips rolling in. Thank you very much to Cheyenne for tipping 15. Boom, that's 8 and 7 there, putting us 3 away from the next expansion. Who says, I grew up with split parents, and I know it can be extremely difficult on you and your child. I know it's not a lot, but I hope it helps even a little bit. Every little bit helps. Seriously, YouTube ad revenue, the way it is these days, you could watch every episode I've ever made. I've made 2,000 episodes of shows on YouTube, and it would make me like $2 or $3. Your tipping this is a huge contribution to keeping the show on the air. Thank you very much, Cheyenne. And then our next tip rolls in from Elisa, who tips 20 and says, "This is why we watch and we love Joe." Whoa, Elisa, you are very, very kind as always. Thank you. That puts us 17 past our next expansion milestone. So here we go. It's time to expand Joe. That puts us once again 3 away from that next face camera milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay, so now that we've got this kind of in here, we can kind of look at this roof a little bit, kind of figure out what we want to do with it. We can also, I want to probably put some of this dripstone in one of the chests over here. Cub wants me to write a poem about his canyon. That's interesting. Try to tilt pinball, tilts, or streams pinball. But yeah, you should follow him. I rated him the other night. He's very cool. Okay, so on some level I want to be lazy and just put these in here rather than take them all the way to the composter. But I'm going to pay for that later if I do. Looks like it's already starting to get dark. Let's take some of these flowers by the flower stand as well. Are there any other flowers or anything we need to pull out of these? Let's just consolidate and do some quick inventory management. Wow, we have a lot of these apples. I wonder why that is. Spider eyes we can put in the brewing area. David Rangel Alarcon tips 3 who says, "Wow!" Alrighty. Here we go. It's time to... whoa. Grabbed the wrong one. Expand Joe. And we're going to lower... Oh, wait. Nope. It's not time to lower the Joe Pasty yet. We are 20 away from the next face camera expansion and the entrance of the Jost. Yeah, I heard about that pinball auction, the Banning Pinball Museum. The thing about it is even though the prices are higher than most pinball sales, I'm kind of suspecting that it's because people know that the museum kept the games in really good condition, right? So if you're buying a game from a stranger and you don't know if it's been maintained, especially like some of these old EMs, electromechanical pinball machines from like the 50s and 60s, you know, they've got decades of wear and tear on them. If they've just been in some guy's attic or garage or like a leaky warehouse all this time, you're like, you know, this thing might be trash. I'm taking a risk here. You know, I'll give you $1,800 for it, right? But then when a museum that's been taking care of these things lovingly for the whole time or for years and years, you know that machine is in good shape. $14,000 for a Back to the Future? Wow, okay. That is... I didn't realize, wow. Whew. But yeah... Yeah, I'm imagining it's all about confidence and quality. People are like, this is probably the single best maintained or one of the best maintained versions of any one of these tables in the world. So if I really care about getting one that I know is going to work, this is the auction to bid in. Okay. Yeah, I can't afford a pinball machine. So... let's toss these in the composter. We'll run over the flower field. Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is, that people who have different amounts of money make different decisions than I do. So I'm not going to try and second guess them. Okay, so that gets rid of those. We need to put away these here. Nope, this one. There we are. Okay. No, it's not for charity, but this museum is closing, and their entire collection is up for auction. Okay. So, on some level, I think we want to do one more pass at the farm, because I want to work on the roof. What are the tent poles made out of the flower shop? Copper. Levstar says, I wouldn't pay more than $700 to see you, even though I love your stuff. That's way higher than I would pay to see me. If I was gonna, like, if you said, Joe, how much do you want to spend on a mirror? I'd be like, well, I mean, I've already got this mirror. But, like, if I had to go buy another mirror, I don't know that I would spend more than, like, $15 on a mirror. Like, I don't know that I would spend $20 on a mirror, you know? So, like, if you'd pay $700 to see me, like, I mean, that's really nice of you. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, we need to put... of course, I lost all the seeds that I put in the composter. Because that's how composters work. Goran says, time to add a $700 Patreon level. I've got a $500 tier, and nobody's ever bid on that. So I don't think that $700 is really necessary. The thing is, Toast, I haven't actually solved all the math problems of building the roof, and I kind of need to talk to Cleo about them. So part of this on some level is I'm procrastinating because I don't want to redo... If I'm going to have to redo some work, I'd rather redo like 45 minutes worth of work than redo like 7 hours of work. You know what I mean? But I ran into some trouble when I was doing the math on the roof, and I think that we might need to move some of the walls. And I don't want to test that because it's going to upset me when I'm proven right. Although there is a very low chance that I'll be proven wrong. So instead, I'm gathering the stuff that we'll need for if we have to redo it. Okay. Hey, Don't Panic Clip. Glad you could join us. Howdy, Cub. Don't Panic says, OMG, not sure why or how it took me so long to notice the green glasses and the green screen, or green tank top. Yep. I've got all sorts of green screen stuff here. I've got my Minecraft creeper mask, which is hard to put on with the headphones, but, like, I can do it. Like, you know, it's hard to play with this all the time. One of the benefits of the new glasses, I can actually read the chat through the glasses now. I didn't used to be able to. Or not through the, I mean, well, the old glasses I could, but I couldn't read through the mask. The screen was just enough distortion. But yeah, now I can do this all day, basically. Except it really presses in on my nose, which I think changes the tone of my voice, makes it sound a little bit more nasal. Which is generally, like, as the kids say, not a good look. Or sound. I don't know. I don't know what kids say. I'm lying. Okay. But anyway, Waffle Clan says, where did Joe go? I know, it's a mystery to everyone. Okay, so, whoops, I'm hitting the what do you call it? Pop filter there. But yeah, also, if anybody just came in, the castle we're working on up there, I've been building a papercraft model of with my friend Zombie Cleo. We've been streaming like 4 hours of papercraft every week for the last 5 weeks. And so, like, I can look at this and I can look at that one and I can kind of tell when the proportions aren't lining up right. And that's part of why I'm, like, not super keen on going too far ahead if I think we need to move a wall. Is Mountain Dew invisible? Well, I usually drink Sundrop because, like, I'm not going to let Pepsi just rip off Tennessee's greatest beverages. But it is invisible. And we are also out of Sundrop right now, which is why I'm drinking health drinks with apples and blackberries in them. But, yeah. It's super pretty and a lot of work. I know. I'm aware. Is there a download for the castle? No, the world download will go up at the end of the season. but the end of the season is when we're done building, and we're not done building yet. I should sneak up on Scar with that mask in real life next time I'm at a convention. Get a little sound box or something. Okay. But yeah, just the idea of working on the high-stakes math of this roof is kind of like, you know what? It's stressing me out a little bit. I'm just going to do some nice, calming planting for a little bit while I think through that. Oh, you can just Google Castle Hohenzollern Papercraft and download models. But yeah, all the hay bales we're collecting will be helpful for future builds. So it's procrastinating in a productive way. But yeah, when I talk to Cleo about it tomorrow, we'll work out the actual math. Because, like, those 4 things there need to go down to the wall. And they don't. And I'm trying to figure out how she interpreted the model when she did that. And unfortunately, that hasn't worked well. But when I asked her to, like, hop on a call, she said Monday was the earliest she could do. So if I go over there and I start making guesses about what she was thinking when the math as I'm seeing it doesn't add up, I'm probably going to end up having to rework a bunch of stuff, and I don't want to do that. Cleo and I both have papercraft models, but Cleo put those walls in and the roof framing. And I think she's wrong about how she did part of it. But usually when I think Cleo's wrong, I'm wrong. And so the odds are that if I try to route around the damage, it'll turn out that I just misunderstood what she was doing. Hey, Scar's back. Howdy, Scar. Okay. So let's go ahead and teleport up here. Hey, Tony Del Tony, thank you for the 5. We are going to get to that as soon as I get somewhere safe, as the sun is setting on the server. And that means it's time for monsters. Doo-doo-doo-doo. It could be differences in our models, but I want to be clear on it. So, Tony Del Tony, thank you for the 5. That's going to put us 15 away from the next face camera expansion. Okay. Could I test my angles in a creative world? Yeah, but that feels like, I don't know, that's not really how I like to play. But I was worried enough about the math that I'm seriously considering it, which shows you how worried about the math I am. Because that's not like me. No! Dang it. Oh, good. One of these now. Okay, let's get rid of that teleportation ender pearl there. Yeah, my solution to looking at spending some time on architecture is, can I spend 6 hours on agriculture instead? Okay. Okay, so... Dang it. That's the whole point of this, is to stop me from falling down here. I'm still falling down here, and it's really annoying. I don't have enough wheat in yet, obviously. Yeah, Mystery Pinball Theater 3000 was really fun the other night. Okay. So, the issue is, this part here is supposed to be just as wide as each of those steps, and each of these steps is supposed to be at like a right angle. And it's supposed to, the fourth one, this one here, this corner should be meeting that, like there. Fortune pickaxe gets you more seeds, not more wheat, though. So, I think I need to bring this down more than it's being brought down at present. Let's go drop off the seeds, and then we're actually going to start doing the math. I've stalled as long as I can. I've stalled as long as I possibly can. Now we got to do math. They both look bad, Levstar. They're both not right, which is a problem. Hey, we just got a tip for 20 rolling in from Jeff, who says, always enjoy your content. Keep adventuring. Woo, thank you, Jeff. That's going to put us 5 past that next expansion. Y'all have seen that money go straight to my head with each expansion up to this point. But now, like Jacob Marley, these chains I've forged in life are about to begin pulling me down to the deep below. Enter the Jost. Boom, 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 boom. Bringing us down now to 90% Joe opacity. Woo! And each additional face camera expansion at this point will be accompanied by a corresponding drop in Joe opacity. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. And as you can see, we are currently 15 away from that next expansion. Okay. Thank you again, Jeff, for that. Okay. We're ready to drop off our seeds and go. Okay. Well, the problem is that every time I fill up my inventory with seeds, I have to run all the way over here to the composter, so I'd actually prefer to do that less. And we can also buy bone meal super cheap from Jevin, so even though we're making some ourselves, it's not the highest priority. Levstar, never feel bad for not tipping. The folks who do support the show are allowing me to make it free for everyone else to enjoy. Back when I was in school, I could not afford any real entertainment budget. When I graduated, it took me 10 years to pay off my educational debt, and I couldn't really pay for entertainment then. People making free comics and free videos and stuff on the internet is what kept me sane, and so I am glad that I can make all the stuff I make free for folks to enjoy now. So never feel bad if you're not in a place in your life where you can afford to tip. And hopefully one day you will be. And even if you don't choose to support my work, I hope you do find an opportunity to support the arts somewhere. Okay. Let's grab steaks. Alrighty. So we need, let's see, let's grab scaffolds. We have some scaffolds back over here. Well, that composter was kind of Cleo's composter, so I'm going to leave it where it was. Scaffolds, scaffy folds. Grabbing all the scaffolds from the stairwell. Do-do, do-do-do-do-do. La-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oops, didn't need the horse. Wum-ba-ba-dum-bum-ba-ba-dum-bum. La-da-da-dun-dun. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Wum-bum-ba-bum-ba-bum-bum. Dun-dun-dun-da-da-da-da. Wum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum. La-da-da-da-da-da-da. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Wum-bum, ba-ba-bum. La-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. So, let's go up here. Take a look at this. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of scaffolding. So we've got 2 extra on this side. So this is 2, 2, 2, 2. Is it 2 in the middle? Because the top part should be just as wide as each of the steps. I think what we need to do is make it 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. But if the build on the whole isn't odd numbered, which it's not, so then we get into like, oh, should we move one of the walls out? Then the alternative is on this particular side to have it be one short, because that side over here, although not on both sides, does have a weird angle on that part of the roof right here. Whereas on the other side, it's got these, gosh, it is really hard to point at this. Like, it's so hard to point at this while I'm holding it. This is why people would hire professional camera people. So, but I think the reason that it's so far off from the height as well is because she's not having it cut down as quickly as it needs to. So if it cuts down and over 3 each time, well, if we add 3 to this one, that's going to come out one more. If we add 3 to this one, it's going to come out one more. We add 3 to that one, it's going to come out one more. Before you know it, it's extending out past there. So then the question is, can we even add 3? No. We can't add 3 easily without extending or past there. Well, the problem is it's not getting lower quick enough. It needs to go down 3 and over 3, down 3 and over 3, down 3 and over 3. So these are probably like 2.5 meters in real life, which is just enough to really screw it up in Minecraft. Okay. So yeah, it's the right height at the peak, but it's not the right height here. This part needs to be down here more. And it's too high by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we went down 3 each time, the last step would be almost where it needs to be, but not quite. But right now, it's just wrong. And unfortunately, Cleo started, even though she told me she wasn't available to talk about this, she apparently did have time while I was asleep to put these things on the wall here to extend it out more, which in fairness probably is about right, but then that means we can't just move both walls out to get the walls right. We gotta move over that one. It's But yeah, there is supposed to be a little bit of a difference there, but not this significant. I think that this whole building needs maybe 4 or 6 blocks added to it. But if we add 4 on this side, then it's flush there. So it can only be 3 on this side. If we add a bunch on the other side, well, wow, that's going to really break those turrets that Cleo put in. So yeah, it's a problem, is what I'm getting at. Can I make the roof is, like, are you saying make the walls higher? I mean, it's going to start looking pretty wrong is the problem. Like, it's a particular shape and proportion. Hey, Andy, I'm glad you enjoyed the nether roof in Season 7. Make one side the way you see it, then Cleo can see where you messed up. Keep in mind, making one side the way I described involves pulling this wall out 3 blocks here. This is a big wall to pull out 3 blocks. And it's going to affect how centered the thing at the end is here. Right? Because the thing on the end is supposed to be centered on the middle top part. So the roof still needs to be centered. So there's a bunch of artistic stuff here. where in order for this to work right, we might just need to make the walls higher, and but it's a lot no matter how you cut it. Okay, so this one is odd though. So if this is odd here, maybe there's a way to make this work. Let's go back in here. This is where having more of a floor would be really handy. I don't think I won Pearl's IOU, because I was not the last bidder on it. Okay, so this is the middle line. Okay, so if this is the midline here, how is that resolved up here? Dang it. That's going to be its own whole hassle. Should have broken that before I... Oh well. Okay. So this should actually be one wider. Okay. Do I have a recommendation for recreating things in Minecraft? Yeah, don't be too precious about it, because you're going to end up moving walls. Woo. Okay. So... I should probably make some torches so I can use them for placing roof blocks. Yeah, let's go get some coal. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what visual aids I need to do tonight, so that when I talk to Cleo about this tomorrow, we can communicate easily. Raining for Rain says, "Yo, are you okay? You seem a bit bummed out." Well, I'm doing math about how these walls need to move. So it's not like, oh no, everything's terrible forever. It's just like, I was hoping that when I did this math, it would prove I didn't need to move any walls. And it's a lot of walls to move. Especially because we textured them already. Which might have been a bit premature. So, yeah. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dee. Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum. Okay, so the way that this would actually come up here would be like, oops. Do 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 do. So this is nowhere near. Yeah. Defoss says if the peak is the right height, I think the sides aren't tall enough. Well, that's the thing, is the sides might be tall enough if they're further out. That's the thing, is like, you can get a 45-degree angle where these both heights are right if you move them further out. That's what I'm thinking is the case. So, and there's also supposed to be like a little crenellation along here too. Ahime Angel says, if the roof doesn't look fine, the rest of the building won't look right either. Yeah. Is the roof actually at a 45? It's darn close. Can you not try to get the towers right first? Well, if the towers are in the wrong place, because the walls are in the wrong place, I don't want to spend a bunch of time on the towers. Getting these towers right and then moving them 4 blocks that way is going to be more of a hassle than just getting them wrong and moving them 4 blocks that way, right? Hey, welcome Captain Fathom, raiding with a party of 6. Fun fact, a fathom is 6 feet. So, in the film Kong, when they are only getting 10 fathoms on the plumb line, that means they are in 60-foot deep water, which is not really good for a tramp steamer the size of the Venture. Okay, so, yeah. I'm pretty sure if we move the walls out 3... Let's try reverse engineering this. Let's try coming down from the top and showing, like, okay. So if this one was here, what would that look like, right? So, actually, this might be slightly... No, I mean, it comes up almost all the way to the top. But we actually... Let's put this one lower. Just to be generous. We're going to put this one lower here. Wait, no, hold on. We should put it... Oh, wait. Torch it that way. Boom. Next problem. Yeah, we can just get Pearl to do the roof with an IOU. She loves roofs. I don't think anybody who does Minecraft likes roofs. So, you see that one now is way higher up than it would be. Ow. My toesles. I was going to say, if I overshot that, I'm going to be a little disappointed in myself. Okay, so this way, and then up 1, I guess. Dang it. Oh, come on. Okay, wait. We'll do it that way. And then this way? Yeah, except we need to go 1 lower. This is obnoxious. Actually, that does get us as far as we need to go. So, yeah. I kind of think it needs to go 3 wide and down 3 and 3 over, then down 3. So that puts it here, is what I'm looking at, which is way further out. So, I mean, I feel like at this point we have what we need to show Cleo to make our point. We have the midline here. Then we have it drop 3 to there, drop 3 to there, drop 3 to there, and then that's the outer wall. And then we have it do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then... of course, I don't have enough of those. Yeah, so then it comes out to here, which is not as bad. That's only out 1 block further on this side, I think. So that means that this side should look closer to right, or to correct. Okay. Okay. Well, I think we have what we need for Cleo tomorrow. A steeper roof is a simpler solution, says Red Umbrella. The problem is, Red Umbrella, that these ceiling thing, or these walls here are like clearly at a 45-degree angle. There's squares cut in. So it's going to look warped if those aren't square. And so then the slope being off on the roof doesn't fix the kind of... the fact that mathematically we can't fit the descent here. Okay. So, let's go ahead and see what's going on in the rest of Twitch. Like I said, I got so much exercise the last day, yesterday and today. My body is like, go collapse. Which is a good feeling in that, like, at least I'm not being completely sedentary anymore. But a bad feeling in that, like, my body does not want to be awake. I do still have to go do some chores, though. Clean up the kitchen, that sort of thing. So why don't we figure out who we are going to raid while we do. It looks like Tosin Plays is... over there on the Black Minecraft SMP server. We raided him last week. He seems pretty cool. We're going to go ahead and hit /raid Tosin Plays. And we are going to hit that there. Alrighty. Thank you all so much for joining me as I tried to do some math and tried to avoid doing some math. Cleo and I will sort it out tomorrow. Hopefully I'm just wrong. Cleo will prove me wrong, and everything will be fine. But anyway, when you get over to Tosin's channel, make sure that you say, howdy, y'all, Joe Hills raid here. And be on your best behavior. So, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring, dude.